Welcome and thanks for watching. An easy way to make money in a private lobby is what I'm going to go ahead and discuss in this video. So we're going to be talking about the storyline mission, Kill 'Em All. Alright, now I've done a video before on talking about how that mission is great to get XP, gold, and also cash. But I've been doing some testing, and it seems like this is a great way if you want to go ahead and get yourself an easy way to get cash. Whether you have one friend with you or up to another 3 friends with you, it's basically up to you. And I find that this is a great way to go ahead and not have to worry about anybody. You will be able to go ahead and start up that mission, and instead of going over to Fort Mercer or just hunting in tumbleweeds, you can go ahead and take a trip up to Valentine. Now, it is about a 7-minute trip or 8-minute trip, so you are going to need some horse stimulant or feed your horse along the way. And a quick tip for you, once you get into this area near Valentine, it's going to be really hard to find any kind of NPCs either with a wagon or on horse in case you're trying to take a second horse to help you load up some animals so you can go ahead and sell things a little quicker. Alright, so a couple more quick tips. I really don't advise you to go ahead and get a wild horse in the New Austin area. Maybe once you get to about Blackwater or Manzanita Post or even further north, or you could wait and hope that once you get to Valentine or Emerald Ranch that there are some horses that are, kind of hitched up there that you can use. You do not want to get a horse too far away because the stamina really sucks, and you don't want to take a 8-minute trip with a random horse. Also, if you're not sure how to get this mission so you can do it with just you and a friend or 2 friends, you want to go ahead and make sure they join you in a lobby, join a posse, and then you're going to start the mission. When you get into the lobby for the mission, you want to ready up as soon as possible so the matchmaking does not bring randoms in with you, because it will not work if randoms. So the reason why I mentioned going up to Valentine, you can also come up to Emerald Station or Emerald Ranch because there are some animals. You will notice during this mission, you will not find any animals bigger than coyotes. Now, you have plenty of birds, you have a bunch of rodents and stuff like that, but you won't be able to find deer, you won't be able to find cougars, nothing like that will spawn. So that's why I advise you to go to somewhere where there are farms, where you can go ahead and just keep killing all the animals there. That's why Valentine has plenty of pigs and sheep that you can keep farming over and over to get the maximum amount of money for this. Before we get too far into it, I want to give a shout out to number 1 PVZ. I ended up helping them get some money. I did a giveaway a couple weeks ago where I was giving 500 in-game cash to a couple winners, and I still had to get him another $100. So I figured we could go ahead and test this out, and then I could also give him some cash. We ended up staying in this session for about 2.5 hours, just continuously hunting. So at Emerald Station, I definitely do not recommend going here if you plan on transporting these animals over to Butcher and Valentine, because it seems like that is going to be the closest one. So I highly recommend either you come in here with a couple of horses between you and your friends, or you take a wagon and then just go ahead and get these pelts. But mainly if you want to come here, I would say just go ahead and come here for So there are other storyline missions that you can use to specifically do the same type of thing, specifically in different areas. But I first did this about 3 weeks ago. I ended up, recording the clip. I was getting ready to do the voiceover for it, and then I guess I ended up deleting it. A bunch of other projects came up, so that's why I'm getting to this one now. I don't know if somebody else has already covered this specific one, but anybody that knows, Smoke Nugs YT's stream, I'm constantly in there. When people are asking what's the best way to go ahead and make money without having to be great at PvP or not wanting to hunt in a public lobby and having people grief them or just dealing with having to avoid other people and stuff like that, I always suggest going ahead and doing this because you can really make a lot of money. As I said, me and number 1 PVZ were in this lobby for about 2.5 hours, and then actually after that we ended up going back to Fort Mercer. We ended up doing the mission, and because we waited so much time, I think we got like 32 gold nuggets, we got about $60, and then 950 XP just for the bonus of the mission, not including the enemies that we killed or any awards that we unlock. Now, speaking of awards that you unlock, there is an award for killing medium-sized animals, and you can really bang that one out with this one because all the goats, the pigs, the sheep, all count as medium-sized animals. All you got to do is just lasso them, and then once you get close enough, it'll give you the option to go ahead and kill them, and that will keep the pelts as clean as possible. Now, when this game first came out online, I was farming the hell out of the Valentine area whenever I got a chance because the sheep were about $7 for a perfect carcass, and they've cut that in half, with one of the updates, I think, sometime last month. So now they're only about $3.50. So you think about each sheep is going to be about $3.50 if it's a 3-star for the carcass, and then roughly about another $1, $1.50 for the pelt. but then you also have the meat that you will get with from them. And the pigs are about $4 for a 3-star carcass, and then you have the pelt, you have the meat. So you can really rack up a lot, because in Valentine, at some of the pens, there is, sometimes 3 to 6 sheep that will spawn, and same thing with the pigs. Now, there's numerous locations in Valentine. There is 2 different pig farms or pig pens, and then there's same thing about the sheep. There's the one main one in the back where you can sometimes get 6 to possibly up to 7 that will spawn. And in the front near the post office, there are a bunch of little fenced off areas, and depending on the situation, you might have 5 of them. Sometimes you might only have 1 or 2. But what I advise you to do is just keep running around between the 4 areas at Valentine that have the pig and the sheep, and then once they spawn, just go ahead and kill them. Now, if you have an extra horse with you, you can load up 2 on your horse, drag another one with you, or what you can do is what you see in this clip right here. This does take a little bit of time, but number 1 PVZ is doing his own thing. I'm just trying to get him some cash, so I'm not skinning the animals. I'm just dropping them off at the butcher so he can skin them, get the pelts and the meat so he can get the maximum amount of money. After I got him his money, I ended up, making myself some money, and I think between the 2 of us, in the 2.5 hours that we were here, I'm pretty sure we made well over $600 to maybe $700. Now, it might not seem a lot when you go to the pen, and the sheep might only be 4 or 5 of them there, and on an average, the sheep might give you maybe roughly, let's say $6 a sheep between the carcass, the pellets, and the meat. But I mean, if you get 3 or 4 of them at a time, that's about $24. And then you just go over to the pigs, you do the same thing, and you keep really stacking up cash. And again, it's stress-free. You don't have to really worry about anybody coming to bother you. If you have the time, you can just continue to keep doing this over and over. Now, you can have 1 friend with you, which will maximize your profits. If you have another 3 friends with you, then, you're going to expect to make a little bit less money, because everybody's going to kind of be having their hand in farming all the animals. So you see, I'm just dropping everything off, and he's in this area, so he's going to go ahead and just skin them and sell them. You want to make sure, though, you do not want to drop the animals off at the butcher and then take off, because they will despawn if nobody's in that area. Same thing when you go to, like, say, this sheep pen here. If I end up only grabbing 2 or 3 of them and I take off, when I come back, the rest of them are going to be gone. So you want to make sure you kill every one of them that you can, and whether you have horses, a wagon, or if you want to go ahead and do it the caveman style, where, kill them and then run them out of the pen, put them in a location, and then go back, get the other ones, and keep transporting them like 20 or 30 feet so they do not disappear off your compass, because there is a chance that they will end up disappearing if you go too far. So that's why I recommend either get a cart, a wagon, extra horses so you can keep transporting them back and forth, or maybe you and your friend can work in tandem, and between the 5 or 6 sheep that spawn there, you guys can go ahead and have 2 horses, load those up with 4, and then drag another one, so you can get all the animals that spawn in this area, so that both of you can get the maximum amount of this, and make it work as efficiently as possible. So another quick tip is, when you guys are actually done, you made all the money that you want to, or if you spent as much time as you possibly can doing this, you are going to either need to, just to make sure that you're safe, either go back to Fort Mercer, finish the mission so you can end it, and you make sure that you don't get disconnected or some issue ends up happening, or you could just go ahead and jump off a cliff, because you will need to kill yourself 2 or 3 times to get that option where you can either quit back to the main lobby, or replay the mission or whatever. So I would advise that you do one of those 2 methods that I said to make sure you finish this off, so you get credit for everything that you've done. Nothing would suck more than doing this and end up for some reason backing out or going to online and switching lobbies and not have the money saved. I haven't had that happen yet, but that could be a possibility. So hopefully you guys can go ahead and take advantage of this. Let me know if you have done this, if you like the idea. Leave some comments, man. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time.